You know what? I've never been that way.
That's pretty cool.
Violators will be shot. I think I'll go this way. Hey, what's up, everybody? I cannot pass up an opportunity. What's that, a little shadow? Huh. I cannot pass up an opportunity tonight. It's 86 degrees right now. Yeah. Man, I tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
When summer comes, it just hits. It was like, man, just a couple weeks ago, it was like 60 degrees. Like a little chilly to ride, but 86. And then guess what? Next week, I think maybe even, yeah, probably next week's gonna be like 90 degrees. I'm like, what? You know, when it hits the southern Ohio area, in this valley, I call it the valley of the tri-state, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, it gets hot, especially when June and July and the dog days of August get here. My goodness. So how's everybody doing? I like to get more videos in, but always something going on where prevents me from riding. But just gonna do a quick little jaunt out tonight, kind of touch base with everybody out there, go over a few comments that people have left about. I got a nice one today. Thank you. There's people that honestly are coming across my channel like on a daily basis, which is pretty cool. It's really neat to see the channel starting to grow and take off a little bit. So I'll be bringing more content down the road for the bike, and more maintenance type stuff, and more basically more adventure type stuff, traveling a little bit on a weekend where I can stretch out and make it more of a day excursion type thing and put it all together, that kind of thing. But I got a comment this afternoon from a person that was asking me about, for this machine or this motorbike, do you need a motorcycle's license? This distinguishing feature about whether it's a motorbike, where they call it a scooter, and like I said in the reply, I said it doesn't really matter, more so what the name is. Like, you can call this a scooter, you can call it a motorcycle, but the state, in most states, especially the state of Ohio, you need a motorcycle endorsement if you have a CC or above CC, 50 cc's I should say. So I think they classify a 50 cc engine more like a moped, and I had one of those as a kid. But when you get above 50 cc's, then anything that's street legal above that number, 50 cc, is going to require a license. So that is a motorcycle endorsement, they call it. Yeah, so anything above 50 cc, you need a motorcycle endorsement, and it's not too bad. I did a full endorsement, how I got my motorcycle endorsement. There's a video that I have on that, and you can check that out. And I kind of go through all the requirements and all the stuff you need and what you can prepare for if you do want to get your license. And I know with spring coming up and warmer weather, everybody's getting the bug to get out there and ride, or they're buying their first bike, whether it's an automatic like this or a small motorbike or motorcycle, commuter bike. But regardless, if it's above 50 cc, yes, you are gonna need your endorsement if you want to ride it on the road. So there's the best way to do that I've found. Now, you can do it one of two ways. You can actually go to the BMV, and you got to get your temps first, which is a computerized test, right? And you got to pass the test, and it's basic driving laws and basic signs and there's a pamphlet that you can study for the motorcycle endorsement computer test, but honestly there's a lot of stuff on that. I would say probably more than 50% of the questions were not in the pamphlet, and I'm like, what the, this was not even anything I read. So be prepared for that. Just get the basic knowledge from the motorcycle pamphlet for your computer test. And I missed more than I thought I would. I think I missed like 11 the first time I did, or 9 the first time, and then 11 the next. Well, my temps expired because I waited too long to get my endorsement, so I had to retake this silly computer test all over again at the BMV. So don't let your temps expire. Duh.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
But I did, because life happened and it caught up to me, and before I know it, it's like, oh my gosh, I couldn't get in to get my license. Believe it or not, they did have, this was during COVID, so they didn't have any driving tests available. My temps expired, which was sucked. Then I had to go through the stupid process again where I had to go there and take the computer test, and I think I missed more the second time around than I did the first time. Like, what the heck? So it's not as easy as you think it would be to pass that silly test, because they're kind of like weird questions.
What does a yellow light mean?
And it's very hard to explain. So I'm just saying, if you fail the test, don't get down on yourself, because it's not as easy as you think. It really isn't. But you can do it. You can do it. You just got to study, you got to have common sense knowledge, and you got to just learn as much as you can about motorbikes, and you'll be okay. It's a lot of basic common sense rules as far as riding, but there are some tricky ones. So just don't take verbatim what you see in the motorcycle pamphlet, because it's really not going to be enough, because there's questions, like I said, that are on there that were not even on that pamphlet, you know, and it drove me nuts. But yeah, you can do it. It's not, I don't want to scare anybody, but it's not as bad as maybe I'm making it sound to be, because there's some people, I haven't heard of anybody acing it. If you have, leave it in the comments, because if you ace that BMV test the first time around, that's pretty damn impressive to me. This is gravel here. Okay. I always forget your brakes on this. So your back brake is your left, your front brake is your right, and when you're used to riding a motorcycle that is a standard with the clutch, you're always used to pulling this lever, the shift, right? Thankfully, this lever over here is the back brake, so you can hear me slide. See, I lock up the brake. I think it's better that the brake is on the left, because if your front brake was on the left here, that would be very dangerous, because especially if you make a mistake and go from a motorbike, like a standard shift with gears and a clutch, and you press that, you're gonna not be in good shape when you do the front brake that hard, you know. So I'm glad they did make it the back brake anyway. So take your test at the BMV, then you get what they call your temporary permits, okay? Once you get your temporary permits, you have a certain amount of time to get your license, and then you got to either sign up to take your skills test, they call it, for the little driving part on the motorbike, either at the BMV, or you can opt for doing it on like taking a class. And since my temps expired the first time around, and since I couldn't get in to take the test at the BMV, they just simply weren't scheduling. They just didn't have any available, so I was out of luck. So I had to take the rider's course, which is the BRS or something, basic rider's course, BSR. It's an acronym for the course name. But that was actually the best thing I ever done. because you take the basic rider skills test, BRS I think, and you can it's a 2-day course, and it's a lot of fun, and you do learn a lot. You actually do learn a lot. I did. So I would recommend anybody this spring and summer that's thinking about getting a bike, if you can still get in, it might be too late because they get filled up pretty quickly. But get your temps and schedule your rider's course. Every state has them. Get signed up and look at that video that I did like last year, I think it was, on about the motorcycle endorsement, and then you'll be good to go. Because it is a lot of fun, actually, and I learned more than I thought I would. Because I'm humble to say that I thought I knew a lot about motorcycles. I had one when I was in my early 20s, and I thought I knew my stuff. But I took that course, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel silly. I never knew that, you know, just weird stuff that I can't even explain now. It was an eye-opener, really. And you don't have to take your own bike. They have all the bikes there for you, and I would recommend using one of their bikes anyway, so you don't crash your own. Not that you would, but you can use your own bike if you wanted to. Maybe take a adventure bike like this that was an automatic. You can do that, but here's the key: you got to get prior approval for that. You can't just show up with it. They're not going to let you use it. You have to, there's a process to go through where you have to contact a certain number or people, and you have to say, hey, I want to use my own bike, and you have to explain why, blah blah blah. So there's a little bit of red tape to that deal, but honestly, you want to learn how to shift. Even if you have an automatic like this ADV, I would recommend learning how to shift, use the clutch, use the friction zone they call it, and learn how to ride a motorcycle. Even if you're only going to be riding an automatic like this, it's still wise to learn how to ride. Okay, that's just my recommendation. You do what you want, but look at that video. I'm not going to go over it again because I detailed it quite a bit in that video, which I put up there. So check that one out. And I'll have it at the end too, a little link if I can remember to do that. I think the last couple of days, I don't know if it's an allergy like a sinus infection, but I was pretty under the weather the last couple of days, man. I was like dying. Like my throat wound up, I think it was Friday night, I started to get like a sore throat, like, you know, hard to swallow, like very sore. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? I never had this. Like, I'm never sick. I mean, it's been probably a decade since I've been sick or had a cold or anything, you know. I'm very fortunate. So I started to get this sore throat, right? And then a cough. Then it turned into a cough. And then very, very bad congestion, like nasal congestion and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do I have I used to get sinus infections about once a year, probably a decade ago. Every year I'd get this horrible sinus infection where I would need to get like this codeine cough syrup because I could not stop coughing. It was from the drainage and stuff, you know. So, but I've been pumping vitamin C like mad ever since like Saturday, when I realized something was coming on. And the trick is take 1,000 milligrams a gram, right, of vitamin C like every 3 or 4 hours. You can't OD on vitamin C. You just you know, extract it out. It's not going to hurt you. And especially you have to build it up in your system. So I would take, if I feel a cold coming on, just a little wise tip here for everybody listening, take about 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C every 3 or 4 hours around the clock. And I know you have to sleep at some point, but even if you don't take any while you're sleeping, do it immediately when you wake up. And after a few days, your body starts building up that vitamin C, and that is the best thing that you can do to ward off any bug that you might have. Okay, trust me, it works. So this is my third or fourth day, maybe fifth day that I've been doing the vitamin C, and I can tell that it's starting to go away, because I was coughing my head off. My sore throat's gone now, so I can talk. I couldn't even do a video because I couldn't talk. It was that bad. And I owe it all to, I believe, vitamin C. It's the hospitals and the big pharma don't want you to know vitamin C is the best way to go, because it's cheap and you can get it anywhere. They'd rather you buy drugs for it, but I just do vitamin C and take vitamin D, and I'm good. I'm good. I never get sick. It's just what I do, because I've been doing it so long. So I think I'm going to start laying off the vitamin C, kind of slowly wean off that now that I'm starting to feel a little better. But yeah, it's great. It is great. Trying to figure out what the heck was in that baby carriage. I'm hoping it was a baby. It could have been a dog though, you never know. So that's that. So I'm still not quite out of the woods. I still have like a very bad nasal congestion, so I hope I don't sound crazy, but it's just because my nose, I got to spray with the stuff to get my nose cleared up so I can talk without sounding nasally, you know. But I've always had issues with allergies. In this area, the tri-state, southern Ohio, allergies are pretty bad every year. And I would get it every year. I'd get a sinus infection. But I would say for the last 10 years, I have not. This is the first year that I really have. And I hope it doesn't continue every year, but I hear whatever is going around right now, I think it's bad. And I don't know if that's ragweed or pollen. I don't know what I'm allergic to, but something, whatever's going around right now. And it could have been a bug. It could have been some other virus or something. It wasn't COVID, because I have COVID tests at home, and I know they're not the greatest ever as far as testing, but they do seem to work. And I tested for COVID. I didn't have that, so I was kind of happy about that. I really thought I did. I'm like, oh great, I got COVID, but I didn't. Came up negative. A line under the C, nothing under the N, so that's good. No sign or trace of what was under the N, whatever that is, can't remember. So no COVID. I just think it's just allergy season, really bad right now. You got that weather that's starting to change, and like I said, it's 86 degrees right now. And anytime you get a major shift in weather, that's when you get that allergy symptoms. You could see it on the vehicles. It's just, man, terrible. Whatever's in the air, we're breathing that crap all the time. Let your car sit for a week and don't touch it, don't drive it, and you'll see what's on your car. It's kind of scary. I'm gonna go down here. Look at there. Let's go down here. Oh, they recently paved this. This is pretty cool. Look at this. Nice blacktop. This was a wreck, this road. It was almost like going on a four-wheel adventure trying to get up that hill, because there was rocks and gravel and potholes. So yeah, here's the Great Miami River. I'm actually gonna go down here, I think. Oh, better take my wallet. See, the problem with this, I could lock it under the seat, but I'm not going to. I'll just lock it. When I lock this thing, I make sure it's Yeah, see, if you turn it to the left, you can lock your handlebars, and then you press and hold till it turns red, that little key fob. Now it's locked. This is like what they call, I think it might be, this is kind of new, I think. This is where you can put your boat or your kayak in, I guess. Maybe not. That's because I thought there was one somewhere else. But this is pretty cool. Really nobody up here, which is rare. That's pretty cool. Sitting in an inner tube with some music. Lazy river. That is pretty sweet. Yeah, like I said, sorry if I sound nasally. Man, it is peaceful up here though. It was like 5 minutes from my home. That's why I come up here a lot. But I probably look like a dork with this helmet on, walking around like some alien. If I was a bird, this would be paradise, right? So I get comments all the time, and they're starting to get, like I said, a couple subscribers each day. It's gone from, 10 a month to 10 a week to I've had 4 or 5 a day sometimes, and it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. Just takes time. I've been on YouTube probably 2 years, and it takes a lot of time. So unlock this, you have to hold down the key. Watch. When it turns green, now you can disengage your, you can turn the lever again and you're good to go. But I keep my key fob in here, wallet in here, and of course you gotta have your phone. Bam. I tell you what, this phone mount is the best thing I ever bought, and it's real cheap. All right, so you're good to go. So easy, this bike. You can just get on, get off. Nothing complicated about it at all. And I like it because it's just me, but it's not intrusive at all. It's very quiet, very peppy. Man, it is so light and nimble. That's what I like about it. It almost feels like a toy. I mean, but it looks like a, it doesn't look like a little tiny scooter. It looks actually more like a motorcycle. Not that that's a big deal to me, but it kind of looks sharp. And it's just a lot of fun. But I know you guys like the videos of the maintenance and stuff, like I said, and if you kind of go through my videos, you'll see that I have maintenance videos, especially on the critical stuff like changing the oil and stuff. I'm going to go down here. They really have the signage. No trespassing. Only for boat members. There's a club down here, apparently, some boaters club or something, so you have to, I think there's homes back there, but it ends down here. I'll show you, but I've never been back there. They make it sound like you're entering Area 51. I mean, you can't, I'm surprised there's not armed guards back here. It's very, like, secretive and very secluded. So I don't know. I've just never been back here. I have here, but not past these signs coming up. And I'm sure if I went back there, I'm not going to get gunned down or anything, but they make it very clear that it's only for residents. See? I don't know if you can see that sign. Private property beyond this point, no trespassing. Violators will be shot. No, it don't say that. I'm sorry. But they, oh my goodness. But there's another bike trail. That's pretty cool. You know what? I've never been that way. I wonder where that leads. I'll have to ride my truck bike up here one time. Private property beyond this fence, no trespass. See, they got signage everywhere. They don't want people around here. So we won't go back there. I value my life, I guess. Got some stuff to do here before I leave this earth. Damn it, I will make this YouTube channel work, whether it's the last thing I do on this earth. It's working. I shouldn't say I'll make it work. It would be nice to do it full time, you know what I mean? Just can you imagine? Or I can. Just the freedom that being independent, like having a YouTube channel that you can actually live off that income, that would be my dream come true. I would be making videos every dang day. That would be so much fun. It's just difficult. It's very difficult. You gotta have a niche. You gotta have a lot of energy. You gotta have something people are worthy of binge watching every day. And I'm gonna sit right here. Go ahead. Here's that hill. Okay, let's go full throttle. 30. See, it's a very steep hill, but it's climbing. So I could get up to 40 in just a few seconds. Yeah, had an itch.